So I just got done watching King-Ohger episode 3, and I gotta say, once again, another solid episode. And in this episode, we are introduced to our Yellow Ranger in full, as we're introduced to Himino Ran, and I gotta say, she's a lot of fun. Like, she comes off as a bit of a selfish bitch, but then you find out that she actually does care. That's her character arc in this episode. But just seeing her interact with her people and her interacting with Yama and Gira was a lot of fun. And this actress, it's a lot of fun to see on screen with her performance. But not only that, her kingdom looked really freaking fantastic. I know it was using that new fancy technology that they're using for King-Ohger, but it looked really freaking nice, because last week I talked about how Yama's kingdom was all technological and freaking cyberpunk and Blade Runner. This one is all bright colors and bright contrast, as you sort of see the flower fields and stuff like that, and these sort of pastel colors here and there. It looked really freaking nice. And not only that, her like castle is on top of a flower that opens up. Like, visually, once again, we've got another appealing kingdom in King-Ohger. But let's talk about the episode. So episode 3 immediately picks up where 2 left up on, and that was Gira and Yama getting kidnapped by the giant mantis. And like I said, they arrive in the Yellow Ranger's kingdom, once again visually beautiful, because it opens up with like a beautiful ocean shot where you see all these different islands and you see the flower fields and stuff like that. It was really cool to look at. So we're introduced to Himino, and Himino right off the bat shows some kind hospitality to our Rangers, asking if they're hurt or anything for the sudden kidnapping. And right off the bat, Yama starts simping. He starts faking it, saying, "Oh, I might have ruined my leg or hurt my leg." And in like the first half of this episode, you see Yama simping for Himino, trying to get on a good side, trying to win her over by sort of going against Gira in this episode. It's kind of cringe, but in a good way, because you can see what he's doing, but it got a laugh out of me with the actor's performance. But Himino in this episode, you kind of see what she's about. She's got all the maids, she's got the butler Sebastian, which you find out he's not really an old man. He's like actually 25 years old, but he looks old with like prosthetics and stuff like that. And he's actually 25, which was crazy. I kind of hope they established in that later down the line, like, I don't know, maybe in the finale, like, you actually get to see what he looks like. Because that got my attention, like, he's not actually freaking, like an old man. He's faking it. But like I said, you get to see her kingdom. It looks really freaking nice. We get to sort of meet Himino where like she steps on a, like there's a dirty path and she steps on her butler, and you see that comedic scene. You see the flower field in the background and she sees a house in the way and she blows up the house, and after that happens, Yama's like, fuck this shit, I'm out, she crazy. But like, this episode was sort of portraying Himino to be really selfish at the start, like acting like she only cares about beautiful things and like other stuff like that. And then in the episode, we meet this family, and there's a child in a wheelchair, and he's upset that Himino's medicine didn't heal her. And straight off the bat, he goes to attack her, but like the maids grab him and quickly put him in a hold. I was like, damn, these maids don't fuck around. They grabbed him and held him really quickly. But Himino just basically gives him money and says, use this to take care of your expenses. So she has that response. So it sort of paints this light as Himino being selfish, like I mentioned in the video. But also in the episode, we've got this plot point going on. You sort of see it in the middle of the episode and then at the end of the episode. And that is the Big Dib Lebowski, the Black Ranger. He's working with Rackley's in this episode, and he sort of comes in at the end of the episode. I believe it's him, and he's using God Kabuto controlling it. I think he might be the one controlling it, because it starts attacking the Yellow Ranger's kingdom in the episode, and that's where our heroes get away at the end, but we'll talk about that later. But we kind of see some kind of alliance between the Black Ranger and Raculus forming, but we'll see what that's about next episode. But like I said, Himino like appears to be selfish, but then when the kingdom gets invaded by the bug people, which is a giant stink bug as the monster of the week, I thought we would have like gross bugs as the enemy bad guys, and I was kind of right, because in this episode the main enemy is a stink bug. Well, the monster of the week is a stink bug, and he's rolling dung around, he's rolling shit around, and it was kind of cool to see. Like, his costume was pretty cool as well, especially in the mech battle at the end. That was really freaking cool. Once again, I know I'm all over the place in this episode, but the mech fight, the Zord fight at the end of this episode was really freaking cool. And also in this episode we were introduced to the snail that turns into the Gatling gun, and I loved Himino calling it over, as she calls it cute, and like when she gets it, she's just shooting all over the place, like free range, just blasting everything inside, and she's like giggling as well. That was a fun scene as well. That was a lot of laughs as well. But Himino did have her moment in this episode where the kid in the wheelchair, they get knocked back and it looks like they're going to get crushed by all the debris, but she runs in there, she shields the child with her body, and the child's concerned, saying, hey, your outfit got ruined. And she says to the child, saying, hey, my outfit can be replaced, but you can't. And that shows that she's actually a good person, which Gira knew that she was a good person after all, because we saw her back in episode 1 and she helped out his friend. So we kind of knew that she was a good person. It's just around her people, like with Yama, there's that relationship where some people see her in a certain light, but under the skin, under the bandage, she's actually a really nice person. So we got that moment as well, and that was really nice. Like a really nice character moment, and a really cool scene when she transformed as well. So after the big Zord battle, all is right in the kingdom, people are getting patched up, and Himino gets a brand new outfit, which we don't get to see much of, and it looks really cool. We only see it from like a wide shot, but we don't get like a good look at it fully. Like, we kind of see the gloves and stuff like that, but we don't get a good full look at it. Like, we kind of see it for a split second, but not a good close-up on the outfit. And I gotta say, the drip on it looked pretty freaking cool. So, like I mentioned, God Kabuto shows up and fires a big beam at our heroes, and they seemingly get away. It looks like Red's mech comes in and swoops them off, but there's a big explosion, so hopefully some people survived that explosion. No idea who's controlling God Kabuto. I'm guessing it's like Dabowski, the big Dabowski, that's what I'm going to call him. So we'll see what happens next week. So it looks like he is going to be the main focus of next week's episode, and then Purple is last. But it looks like Purple's been sneaking all over the place. Like, we saw a quick cameo of Purple, of them sort of like, they walk past like the mirror, and then you hear this like brrr, and they're staring like into the mirror. But it looks like they make another cameo next week as well. So we'll see what that's about. But anyway, guys, another solid episode of King-Ohger. I hope you guys enjoyed my review recap. I know it's all over the place right now, because we're getting introduced to our characters, and I'm getting a feel of them, and I'm giving my opinion of them, because we're having their sort of introductory episode, so I don't know if I'm going to like this character or not. Yellow I think I like her so far. She seems pretty cool. But I can't wait to keep watching next week as we're introduced to the Black Ranger, another character who I thought was really cool from his introduction, and his drip as well is pretty freaking amazing. But with that said, I think I'm going to bring this video to a close. If you enjoyed this video or this review, recap, whatever you want to call it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and for more content, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Peace out, take care.